All right, everybody, so we're gonna do a little rant video. Forgive me, I'm setting up my, there you go. We're gonna do a rant video, right? I haven't done one of these in a while. And who else would I rant about who's on my shit list than Inart? So, I've said this time and time again with videos, Inart as collectors, we witnessed the birth of a 6-scale company, right? From Queen Studios to Inart, and here we are, right? Putting out very expensive pieces, pretty much at their own pace. And there's not many, but I think there are some that are starting to see it. I know for me, I have multiple pieces on order with them. Not just one. I'm not like, I got like 1, 3, 4, 5. I got like 6 pieces on order with them, 5 or 6. And I have the Gandalf upstairs. And it's just interesting to me because to me, and there's some people out there, they're gonna say, oh, you're being really naive. I'm being honest. Being a consumer of theirs, it's like a roller coaster. It's up and down, where you get excited about some things and then you're just aggravated about other things. So where I'm at right now is the pissed off aggravation stage. Could that change tomorrow and I'm back up here? Yeah, 100%. That's being truthful. I'm not blowing smoke. All right, you can say whatever you want. I'm being honest, which like transparency, and people still give you shit for it. So I don't really give a fuck, to be honest. And so I'm just keeping it honest, keeping it real. It just amazes me because like I pre-ordered the sculpted Batman January of last year. And I'm like, where the fuck is that thing? Seriously, where the fuck is that? And there's other influencers, YouTubers, not naming names because I'll be civil, but you'll get my point, that I know pre-ordered that shit like within a week of me. That have already had it, reviewed it, and they've already got other fucking figures. And I'm over here like I'm patient, but like I'm more confused about where the fuck my figure is, to be honest. And since then, we got Aragorn, we got, which I don't even know if that's like fully out. There's like like I know Kit's doing the best job that he can, where he's giving people updates and he's getting slammed. And for anybody out there that's a customer of Kit, by the way, he takes, leave the guy the fuck alone. Like really. He, I think, is great about giving updates, telling people when their orders are out and shit. But yet dumbasses are still posting them, hey, when are you getting this? When's my order due up? Well, you'll get it when you get your fucking invoice. Like, shut the fuck up. That annoys me. Anyway, getting back to it. But like, to my knowledge, Kid hasn't posted anything about the sculpted Batman. I know he's putting out the rooteds, all that shit, but like I haven't seen any of that shit. And I think even Aragorn, he's done like a few, and I could be wrong, so I don't even know. And then you got the Harry Potter, which I don't even think it's officially out, but it's already been reviewed by people. And then some people that are getting it fucking broken. The wrist pegs and the arms and shit are like falling off of it, like, Humpty Dumpty falling off the wall. And it's like, okay, that thing's $500. And then I'm hearing that the Superman is potentially going to be coming out this year. Now, that's the transparency, which I don't care what anyone says. They don't give you transparency. When they say that it's coming out this year, I think influencers are going to be reviewing it. Like, they'll have Superman next month, 100%. And it's just fucking mind-blowing. And then they post Wonderfest that they're going to be there showing off 12th scale. And it's like, I understand from a business point of view, you always have to be forward thinking to keep the pipeline going, if that makes sense. You can't necessarily work on a project, close it, finish it, because you got people you have to pay. You have to keep things, a lot of this is R&D, production, logistical stuff. So I understand that you have to be forward thinking, have projects in the pipeline, so that way you keep the cash flow going. But they're straight up a fucking Kickstarter. Inart feels like a glorified fucking Kickstarter to me. 100%. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't give a shit what they show off at Wonderfest. They better not show off anything new that we haven't seen before. I don't give a shit about an updated Christopher Reeves. Where's Batman? I don't give a shit about The Walking Dead. You know, where's Harry Potter and Aragorn? I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. I don't give a shit about 12 scale. That's a whole nother topic. That they're going to put out 12 scale now all of a sudden. And they're probably going to charge, I don't even know how much they're going to charge. I have no fucking clue. But they're not going to be cheap. I just ordered the other day like 3 Mafex figures and paid like $60 a piece. And like, they look amazing. And I'm going to be happy with them because I have Mafex already. But Inart, yeah, the quality is going to be so much better, the accuracy. You willing to pay fucking probably $200 for a 12 scale figure? I'm making that number up. You can say I'm talking shit. But based on Inart's pricing, I would be hard to believe that a 12 scale figure is going to be under $100 from them. I would be flabbergasted if that was the case. I just don't see that happening. And obviously, what are the figures? The Dark Knight. Fuck out of here, the Dark Knight. So yeah, this is just me ranting and aggravating, but it's like, get your shit together. And it's just like, I think there's just ups and downs. Like, you're gonna put out the Superman, influencers are gonna get the Superman, review it, put it up, and that's gonna drum up the hype again. Like, people are excited. But all that's gonna do is basically ask people, where the fuck is my figure like 3 figures ago? Like, where's that figure at? And you're worried about putting out all these reviews, and that's all you're doing. The shit's sold out already. Like Superman, you probably can get it from some, you know, back alley websites. But I'm just talking about like legitimate places that sell Inart. You can't get the fucking Superman anywhere, to my understanding. I mean, if there's any places, you probably gotta wait another year, like out. You know, I'm talking about places like Kit and like places that people normally buy shit from. The Superman's not there, and so it's like you're drumming up hype for people for something they can't buy. I've said that over and over again. Like, I don't understand the point of that. And they keep saying brand awareness. Well, here's a tip. Don't invite 6 scale YouTubers to go look at 12th scale products. Unless you're gonna give it to them for free, I don't think any of them are gonna fucking buy that stuff because they just don't do 12 scale. So if you want brand awareness, invite 12 scale people to the next event, like 12 scale YouTubers. Don't invite your buddies that have no stock in any of this shit. Invite 12 scale YouTubers and find out what their thoughts are. I'm being serious. That would be common sense. And I think Inart lacks common sense right now. And I just wonder what people's breaking points are. Like, right now, and I'll say this on tape, and people can call me a flip-flopper, a tap dancer, I can give a fuck. But I'm being honest. The way that I have everything budgeted right now, because of the time frames, and I have all my stuff on an Excel sheet. Shout out to Denobi too. We always talk about that. Excel sheets, right? You know, if you don't have an Excel sheet, you're a rookie. You don't know what the hell you're doing. If you're just flying by the seat of your pants right now with Hot Toys and stuff, then you're lost, and you'll be ice skating, tapping out, whatever his phrase is. But like with Inart, I have certain financial situations to be able to handle that stuff when it comes in because they're so damn sporadic. However, it comes to a point like the Batman. If I turn around and got that invoice today, I'm gonna be real, I'd probably cancel it and not pay it, straight up, because I already have the Hot Toys one, and I don't think I'd want to drop $400 on something because I waited so long that it's just the hype has completely frizzled out on that. 100%. Now, could that change in a month? Yeah, absolutely. If things open up and I get an invoice, I might be like, you know what, I'm gonna change my mind and see how this goes and grab it. I have the Inart Bruce Wayne, so that's the only connection that's really swaying me still to possibly getting the Batman, but I really have no interest in it, none whatsoever. I'm like a dog with a bone where it's like my focal point is all over. If I have something on order long enough, I completely forget about it and lose interest in it. Like the Tobey Maguire No Way Home. That thing was delayed, and when I got that, it was a completionist piece. I always admitted that. It was a piece to complete the collection, but I wasn't as thrilled with that as I would have been if that would have came out in a normal time frame. So Hot Toys, it can happen to Hot Toys too, where if stuff comes out super delayed, I lose interest in it. 100% I do. But Inart is just like, they're all over the fucking place, and they're gonna have their shills that are gonna defend them. Every company has shills. And people are going to defend them regardless. Oh, let them cook, let them cook. You know something? If they were putting out perfection figures with no QC issues, no nothing, I'd be like, fair enough. But every figure has had a fucking problem. Almost every figure. The Gandalf, the wrist pegs suck, the magnetic base. Every figure there that has a magnetic base, it's on an automatic fail. Because they suck. The Harry Potter, I mean, I've seen photos, wrist pegs broke, arms literally coming out of the socket. The Aragorn, I saw a pretty decent drop from the proto. That was the first figure that I felt dropped off, really, from the proto to final. Dropped off a lot. Not a lot, but it dropped off. And I didn't think people liked it a lot. I have a couple buddies who canceled the figure just because they didn't like the way it looked. It just wasn't there. It wasn't as good as the Gandalf. And I keep saying that. I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan. I got the Gandalf because of the artistry of the actual look of the figure. I am aware of the character, but I am in love with that figure, and I'm not even a Lord of the Rings fan. So that figure is like a kudos. You got me to buy something that I'm not even a fan of the IP, but I appreciate the artistry that went behind that piece. But it's just so fucked up. And they're going to show off all this shit. And every photo, every comment they put out, or every post they do, people are like, well, where's my shit? And I think that's the biggest thing. Like, where's my shit? Where's my stuff? And I'm going to go out on a limb and say this. You know what? Inart made a huge mistake hooking up with North American YouTubers. I think they did. I know people get on me for criticizing my fellow content creators, but to be honest with you, I think that if there was not any YouTubers that were like that, like connections wise, I don't think people would give a shit as much as they probably do. I know that there's influencers like in China and stuff that get figures and they pretty much post the shit on Instagram and then they call it a day. But I think the idea of like doing these streams and like all this shit, it doesn't amount to anything. At the end of the day, people just want their shit and they're willing to wait. But I think Inart is playing a dangerous game where I think they're testing the limitations of what collectors are willing to wait for their stuff. And with all due respect, everyone has their own personal degree of what they're willing to wait. And when they exceed that, then they have right to complain. They really do. Just because, I mean, if it's over a year and you don't see a lot of traction happening, I think, you have a right to say something. And like I said, January of last year to, and I pre-ordered January of last year, and now people are gonna say, well, it's not even been a year yet. I call me a hypocrite. I don't know what to tell you. I'm here ranting, but it just makes no sense to me. And like I said, all that stuff about, and I've made videos in the past, like trying to comprehend it all. It's just they're expensive pieces, and they're all over the place. And I call them a Kickstarter because I feel like they're just putting out stuff to drum up hype, to take pre-orders, and then they're rushing pieces out. But it'd be different if they were rushing these batches out quickly. But there's people that still don't have Aragorn. People don't have Batman. And now you're up to the Superman. So, people are waiting on Batman. Aragorn is not fully out, I think. Harry Potter's not really out. And then you have Superman. So it's like 3 figures ahead. It just I can understand people's frustration in the fact that Inart is doing all this stuff, and like I said, then they're getting in the 12th scale. So I don't know. This is a rant. Like I said, I'm just aggravated. Luckily, I'm not too aggravated because I collect a lot of other shit that's keeping me occupied. I think Inart to me is kind of like, they're not phasing out, but they're definitely not the hot shit that they were a year ago. I think they've lacked in transparency. I think they lacked in messaging. Like this whole thing with the Aragorn and that robe, that cloak, where they basically, from what I understand, it was very misleading. A lot of people are pissed off that they were showing that in the promo photos for a lot of places, and then they said that it was like a China exclusive, so not many people got it. And kudos to Topo Studios, who basically just said, hold my beer. If you're not going to show it there, we'll just fucking make it for $30. And it's on 16Kit's website right now. If anyone has that Aragorn on order and you're pissed off about the cloak, You can get it from Topo Studios. The biggest slap in the face will be if Inart ends up releasing that on their website, like they did with that rock diorama and like the detonator, causing all that bullshit, and then they just end up putting it on their website. That will be the biggest fuck you to collectors, I think. Whether or not that accessory is important to you, it's the action of what they did will be a huge fuck you to collectors, 100%. But they done it with the detonator. They gave out detonators, randomly. People were even selling them on eBay, paying $60, $70, $100 for a detonator, and then all of a sudden it's $20 on the website. The diorama, people were buying that for like $100, $110, and then they had it on a version of it on their website. So a lot of people were expecting them to put that robe on Inart's website, and I wouldn't be shocked if they ultimately did. But like I said, it'd be a big fuck you to collectors if they did that. As you can see, this video wasn't very structured. It was just me kind of rambling all over the place, and that was what this was. It was a rant video. And like I said, I'm pretty sick and tired of them. I'm not going to be making a Karen thing where I'm canceling all my orders unless you respond to me. We know who makes those kind of videos. As I said, I'm not looking to throw away NRDs, but it's just a frustrating situation with them as a company. And I've seen people already kind of flip their attitude towards them from last year to this year in terms of messaging, things like that, transparency, which I think they lack a lot of, and a lot of secrecy behind things. And collectors, I think, just want to know what's going on. And I just don't think they're fully transparent with the community, and I hate using that word with that. So let me know your thoughts below. I'm sure I'm gonna get some hate, which is okay. I haven't done a video like this before, but Inart's on the shit list right now. That's just what it is. I've talked to John and them before, and it is what it is. Have cordial. I understand he's not Inart. He's just a person working for them, and so I have voiced my criticisms in the past, and no hard feelings. It's just, like I said, I think I've mentioned this before, they make good stuff, but they're a shit company right now. Like a shit company making a great product. And I think that's the only thing that's keeping collectors engaged. And once the quality, a lot of collectors don't seem to like a lot of things. Some things are out of Inart's control, the distribution situation. And I'm just saying what collectors don't like. Sometimes it's the pricing of stuff. It's the distribution, how they handle their messaging, how they handle the marketing, advertising, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, I think most collectors are willing to put up with that stuff to an extent if the final product is delivered as advertised. And I think that's probably one of the only things Inart has going for it left right now. And the minute that they are no longer able to do that, I think that they'll get a big L from a lot more people, personally. That whole phrase, let them cook, I mean, that's what people say all the time, so we'll see what happens. But let me know your thoughts below. Drop a like on the video. Please consider subscribing. But until then, this is Mr. Mom Collectible saying take care, and I will see you guys in the next video.